Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Zone Pack, Oregon Sweet Leaf Revival. Um, been a rather interesting day. I just went through kind of a weird experience, and I just thought I would come out here and clear my mind from what I went through, and I thought maybe I could share this bowl with you guys and just a little bit of an experience. I heard down the pipeline that from Jody Emery that Marc's in the hole. Marc Emery, of course, the king of pot, as they say. He's in federal prison, like right now, locked up here in our country, and he's from Canada, and he was just a fucking bullshit mess, man. You know how the government is, here or there. I don't give a shit what government you're from. It's all the same worldwide. We got Syria flaming up. We got parts of India flipping out. Come on, man. It's not just us or Canadians, or anybody else. It's the whole frickin' world, man. We let a few people control as many people that are on the planet. And what's really ironic is we let a few people torture and abuse other human beings in prison. I personally know what prison's like. I spent about 22 years of my life in prison. And listening to Jody's story about her husband's experience so far in segregation just kind of sent me on a little bit of a reminiscing point that sent me back there, and I've spent years in the whole segregations before, and I can tell you that it's something you never forget. It's like child labor, but worse, I guess. You have a baby, you never forget. Go to prison, you never forget. A loved one dies, you never forget. There's things that you just don't forget. Well, going to prison is one of those things you don't forget. And really ironically, we do live in a prison planet type world. America, we're full of private prisons and places to lock up anybody and everybody and every citizen abroad. But right now I just want to smoke this bowl for Marc Emery. Brother, I know what it's like. I know what it's like inside that box. I know what it's like to be empty and to feel loss of all being inside there. Tonight I pray for you, Marc Emery, and I pray for every other human being on the face of this planet who has been being persecuted, in jail, in prison, for this plant, for the love of this plant and for the use of it. As our late and great legendary father of hemp, Jack Herrera, said, we need to free the hemp. It's time we end this silliness. People, you got to get out there and vote. Oregon's coming up. We've got a couple new measures that have kind of cleared the floor a little bit. We've got this dispensary one coming up. Well, you know what? We need to move past that. We need to just go ahead and take that next step, voters. You guys here in Oregon, ladies and gentlemen in Oregon, you medical users in Oregon, you medical supporters of those that use medically in Oregon, it's time that we move to end this prohibition period. In these policies and these procedures and all of this red tape that keeps sick people from getting access to this medicine. It's time we end this all the way around. We cannot forget what Jack Herrera has done and what he left behind for us to continue on. It was easy for that to all get swept under the carpet, but that stops now. We all have to come together. I don't care whether you dab BHO or you dab butter. I don't care what you do. If you're involved in this medical community and you're involved with this plant and you love this plant and you think that this is something that the whole world needs to share, then get out there and vote. And you citizens in Oregon, come on, you guys. Are we really going to look that backwards? You know, especially when we got people like Marc Emery right now in the bucket, you know, in a little 9x11 cell. Might even be smaller. I don't know what the feds give people. I did state time. But the thing is, it's got to stop, man. It's got to end. It's got to stop. We got to free Mark. We got to free anybody that's ever had anything wrapped up around cannabis use or that anything has to do with cannabis. We got to stop it. This is senseless. It's foolish. And you know what? Pfizer wins, folks. That's right. Pfizer wins. All of these big, huge pharmaceutical companies, they continue to win by getting people addicted to opiates. People that, you know, say, oh, you got an owie, the doctor says, here, let's have some oxycodone. Let's get some Xanax in you. Let's do something that'll assist you. And of course, all it does is put you in an early grave and destroys your family, your children, your loved ones, your mother and your father, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your nephews, your best buddies. It kills us all. It's time we end this, guys. We got to end this now, man. It's either, if we don't, it's just going to, man, they're going to continue to win. And they're going to continue to put good people like Marc Emery in the freaking bucket for something he hasn't done, man. You know? Said he had a cell phone, took some pictures of him playing some music. That was all prison authorized. The prison camera took that picture. Not no cell phone, but you know, anything and everything they can do to continue to put a wrench in the works of great progress. And I think that this government that I'm under right now, I think that basically they're all about, you know, let's see how far we can push them in a corner before they pop, you know. Folks, we need to come together. I don't care if you live in Canada. I don't care if you live in Minnesota. I don't care if you live in Bangor, Maine. From the East Coast to the West Coast, all the way through Canada and all the Canadian provinces, all the French provinces, all of Mexico, all of South America, anything that's connected to this island that the natives once called Turtle Island, we need to come together because we all share the same dirt, man. I don't care where you live. This has got to stop. We got to vote, folks. We got to vote. We got to get this done with, man. We got to send these foolish old men that like to collect the tax dollar so they can afford their boats in the French Riviera, man. We got to send them a note and say that they're fired. I don't care where you live. Fire your politicians. Politicians aren't going to get it done, folks. Our environment's destroyed. It's gone to hell, man. Our honeybees aren't pollinating. We got dudes in China, man, sweetening pollen off of flowers and putting them onto other flowers by hand, man, because we don't have honeybees. Come on, folks. We better do something, man. We better get this plant going. We better do it soon. Fossil fuel isn't working. It's just killing soldiers, whether you're Canadian or American. I've seen Canadians get blown away in Afghanistan too, man. I don't care where you're from, man. It's time we come together, folks. We got to do it, man. We're going to have to. Remember King George? He thought George Washington was a criminal because he was rebelling from the crown. You know, folks, I think it's time before it's too late. The cannabis community is a beautiful place, beautiful people, earthly people, spiritually, earthly, sound people. And if we all come together and we all connect, imagine how much power we can have as a community, as a whole community, not divided, not because somebody's a better grower than another person or somebody can put better medicine on the table. It doesn't matter. If we got our hand in it and there's no corruption involved, we can become an undividable force. So, as I end this video tonight, take a little bit of Jack Hare here. For you, Marc Emery. For you, Jody, tonight. I don't know where you're at, sweetheart, but I'm really sorry you've got to go through this for your husband. I know you're hurting. My wife knows you're hurting. The ganja goddess, she knows you're hurting. And we understand that pain. And as the ganja goddess would say, for Marc Emery, Jody Emery, and all those wrongly persecuted for the use of this lovely medicine.
Sharing is caring.